Hey, beautiful humans. Welcome to another episode of We Are Already Free. I'm Nathan Maingard, your host, fellow human, and someone who, like you, sometimes struggles with distractions, self-doubt, and the desire to live more fully as my true human self. If you're like me, maybe you found yourself lost in the chaos of modern life. You sit down to do meaningful work, but suddenly you're scrolling social media, checking your phone, or getting lost in some random distraction. You feel it pulling you away from the person you really want to be. But what if I told you there's a simple, powerful practice that can help you not only manage distractions, but actually unlock more of your most authentic self in the process? And you can do it in just 10 minutes. When you hear the words, "we are already free," what comes up for you?
Acceptance.
Change.
It's a shift in awareness. Human beings are so powerful.
There's so much more.
Everything is love behind it.
Breaking the chains of your own mind.
That which remains.
Nature.
Getting out of the matrix.
We're sitting on the treasure and it's already unlocked.
We are already free.
You're free.
You are a walking map.
Have always been free.
You are always free, already free.
We are already free.
If you're one of the many new listeners who've recently joined the We Are Already Free family, it's a pleasure to have you here. Remember to subscribe and leave a review, and I'd freaking love to hear from you because obviously this whole podcast thing is very audio, not so much visual, so I'd love to know who you are. Before we dive in, I want to share something exciting. To celebrate the recent upgrade of my full Root and Rise coaching program, I'm offering a limited number of single Root and Rise accelerator sessions. There are only 2 spots left now. These one-on-one sessions are a deep dive into discovering what's really holding you back and realigning with your true self. Valued at $250, I'm offering these for free in exchange for feedback and a testimonial. If this feels aligned for you, head over to alreadyfree.me/rootrise or check the link in the show notes to claim your spot before they're gone. Okay, onwards. Today I'm going to share with you an incredible tool called the 10-minute rule. This is more than a productivity hack. It's a simple step along the road to freedom and self-mastery. Let's be real for a second. Distractions are everywhere. Whether it's our phones, Netflix, or those cookies in the cupboard, we're constantly bombarded by temptations that pull us away from what truly matters. But here's the thing. Distractions are not the real enemy. The problem is how we react to them. Most of us feel guilty when we get distracted, don't we? We think, I should have more self-control. But I want to tell you something today. Distractions themselves aren't the problem. They're not some moral failure. In fact, they can be a beautiful opportunity, an opportunity to come back to yourself, to become more present and more mindful. Here's the key. What if, instead of resisting that urge to check your phone or grab a snack, you give yourself permission to do it, but only after waiting for 10 minutes? This is called the 10-minute rule. It's a concept I learned from the author Nir Eyal, and it's been life-changing. Not only does it help manage distractions, but it also helps you discover what's really driving your behavior. So what is the 10-minute rule exactly? It's simple. The next time you feel the urge to engage in a distraction, maybe it's checking your phone, eating something unhealthy, or diving into a Netflix binge, give yourself permission to do it, but only after waiting for 10 minutes. In those 10 minutes, something magical happens. You give yourself space. You give yourself time to become aware of what's really going on inside you. Is it boredom, anxiety, fear? What's the emotion or thought that's driving you toward distraction? And here's what often happens. By the time those 10 minutes are up, you don't actually want to engage in that distraction anymore. You've given yourself enough space to let the impulse pass. But here's the trick. You're not forcing yourself to stop. You're giving yourself permission, but with a delay. This small shift can make a huge difference. Now let's talk about why this works so well. First, it reduces what's called psychological reactance. That's just a fancy way of saying that when we tell ourselves, don't do it, we tend to want to do it even more. You've probably experienced this before. When you try to avoid something, it only gets stronger, right? What we resist persists. But by giving yourself permission to engage in the distraction, just not immediately, you ease that tension and remove the urge to rebel against your own rules. Second, it builds self-control. By regularly practicing this 10-minute rule, you strengthen your ability to delay gratification. It's a simple key to living a more intentional life. The more you practice, the stronger your self-discipline becomes, and the more aligned you become with your true self. And finally, this practice fosters mindfulness. In these 10 minutes, you become aware of what's really going on inside you. You start to notice the emotional triggers behind your distractions, whether it's stress, boredom, or fear. And here's the thing. Once you become aware of those triggers, you can start to heal them. Okay, now for the part you've been waiting for, how to actually use this in your life. Here's what I want you to do. Next time you feel the urge to engage in a distraction, whether it's picking up your phone, eating junk food, watching TV, stop. Just for a moment. Set a timer for 10 minutes. During those 10 minutes, don't try to resist the urge completely. Instead, reflect. Ask yourself, why do I want to do this right now? What am I feeling? Are you stressed, bored, avoiding something uncomfortable? Take the time to check in with yourself, and at the same time, just continue with whatever work you're doing without getting too intense about it. When the timer goes off, ask yourself, do I still want to engage in this distraction? Sometimes the answer will be yes, and that's okay. But often you'll find the urge has passed and you can move on to something more aligned with your values. This practice will not only help you master distractions, but will also help you to become more connected to your true self, living in alignment with what matters most to you. You might be wondering, Nathan, what does this have to do with me being my authentic self? Well, here's the deeper magic. Every time we choose to confront a distraction, we're choosing to come back to ourselves. We're saying, I am enough. I don't need to escape or numb out. By using the 10-minute rule, you create a practice of presence. You become aware of the patterns and emotions that drive you. And in that awareness, you gain the power to change them. This is the path to living authentically, knowing yourself, accepting yourself, and choosing to show up fully in each moment. And when you do that, my friend, you are free. Free to be who you truly are. Free from the need to hide or run away. Free to live your life with purpose and joy. So the next time you feel that familiar pull toward distraction, remember this. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up for yourself in small, powerful ways. The 10-minute rule is one of those ways. It's not just a tool for productivity, it's a tool for freedom. I invite you to try this in your own life today. See what happens when you give yourself that 10 minutes. You might be surprised by how much more aligned, present, and free you feel. And hey, if this resonated with you and you're ready to dive even deeper into uncovering what's really holding you back, I've got just the thing for you. My Root and Rise Accelerator sessions are designed to help you get to the root of your biggest challenges, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, etc., and give you the tools to rise into alignment with your authentic self. There are only 2 spots left for this limited time offer, so if you're ready to take the next step, head over to alreadyfree.me/rootrise or tap the link in the show notes to grab your spot before it's taken by someone else. And before we wrap up, if this episode sparked something in you, share it with someone you love, someone who might need this reminder that they too are already free. Thank you for being with me in this beautiful journey today. And until next time, as always, please remember, we are already free.